Here's the truth that might sting. After making NCIS fans wait over a decade for their beloved Tony and Ziva to reunite, the creators are playing games with our emotions right from episode 1. Michael Weatherly and Coté de Pablo are finally back together in NCIS Tony Ziva, and yes, there's a wedding scene that will make your heart race. But here's where it gets controversial. The entire ceremony is essentially a lie designed to hook viewers before pulling the rug out from under them. The 57-year-old Weatherly doesn't apologize for this bait-and-switch approach. During a recent interview with his 45-year-old co-star, he defended their decision using what he calls the Dracula surfing philosophy. Picture this. If someone created a show about a vampire who rides waves, most producers would drag out 9 entire episodes before actually showing Dracula on a surfboard. They'd waste your time explaining his vampire origin story, his surfing background, where he bought his board, everything except what you actually tuned in to see. With our show, you get that wedding dress immediately, Weatherly explains. And De Pablo enthusiastically agrees with this no-nonsense strategy. But here's what most people miss about this approach, and this might be the most divisive part of the entire series. The stunning wedding sequence features Ziva in an absolutely gorgeous gown and Tony looking sharp in his tuxedo, surrounded by 125 guests in a breathtaking 19th-century Budapest church. However, the entire event crumbles before your eyes, leaving fans questioning whether they've been manipulated or cleverly entertained. Weatherly calls this technique an unreliable narrator, essentially admitting that the show intentionally deceives viewers. That rug gets pulled out from you, he states matter-of-factly. Turns out it's not Dracula, and he's not surfing. And this wedding isn't happening. Some might argue this is brilliant storytelling. Others could see it as cheap emotional manipulation of a fan base that's already waited far too long for closure. What's your take? Is this creative genius or cruel teasing? The complicated relationship between these characters spans nearly 2 decades of television history, and frankly, it's been a roller coaster that would exhaust even the most patient viewer. De Pablo made her exit from the original NCIS back in 2013, but not before delivering that long-awaited first kiss between Tony and Ziva in her final episode. Weatherly followed suit in 2016, leaving to star in CBS's legal drama, Bull, which meant Tony's character was written off to raise their daughter Tali in Paris while believing Ziva had died. The plot thickened when De Pablo surprised everyone by returning for a 4-episode arc in season 17, revealing that Ziva had actually survived. That storyline wrapped up in January 2020 with the family finally reuniting off-screen in Paris, a moment that should have felt like a satisfying conclusion, but somehow left fans craving more. When Bull concluded after 6 seasons in 2022, the demand for Tony and Ziva's return reached fever pitch. Paramount Plus answered those calls by announcing this new spin-off series in February 2024, and De Pablo believes the fans essentially willed this reunion into existence. We've manifested this for years. The fans did the work, and destiny played a part, she reflects. And here we are. But here's where things get interesting, and potentially frustrating for viewers hoping for simple romantic bliss. The series kicks off with Tony and Ziva not romantically involved, despite their shared history and daughter. When Tony's Parisian private security business comes under attack, the co-parents are forced to flee across Europe together, hitting Budapest, the Canary Islands, and Paris while dodging danger. Their 12-year-old daughter Tali, now portrayed by British actress Isla Guy, stays protected under the watchful eye of her SAS-trained nanny, played by Lara Rossi. The international cast also features Maximilian Osinski, known for playing Zava in Ted Lasso, as a brilliant hacker who presumably helps the family navigate their crisis. And this is the part most people miss about the new series structure. It's deliberately designed to torture fans with what they want most. The show constantly flashes back to steamy romantic scenes from Tony and Ziva's earlier Paris days, while simultaneously exploring the painful reasons their relationship fell apart despite their obvious connection. These flashbacks serve as both a gift and a punishment for longtime viewers, showing exactly what the couple could have been while highlighting why they're currently apart. It's a storytelling choice that's either emotionally sophisticated or unnecessarily cruel, depending on your perspective. The wedding sequence, when it finally arrives, quickly dissolves into espionage-fueled chaos, because apparently this couple can never catch a break. The entire production was filmed during one of Europe's most scorching summers, which created additional challenges beyond the typical action sequences. De Pablo shares a behind-the-scenes reality that might surprise fans. It was a sweaty dress in very warm weather that I had to run and fight with. By the end, I wanted to throw that dress off some balcony. That dress went through everything. The wedding gown wasn't just a beautiful costume piece. It was practically engineered for combat. The dress features removable sleeves, specifically so Ziva can throw punches when necessary, requiring De Pablo to undergo specialized fight training for scenes that blend elegance with violence. Fighting when you age gets more complex, De Pablo admits candidly. But her daughter's safety brings out the mama lion in Ziva, so there's a viciousness in the technique. This raises an intriguing question that fans will likely debate. Is it empowering or slightly ridiculous to see a character fight in a wedding dress? The imagery is certainly striking, but some might argue it's emblematic of how this couple can never have a normal, peaceful moment together. So will Tony and Ziva actually get married eventually? Neither actor will commit to specifics, though they clearly have theories about their character's ultimate destiny. Weatherly frames their entire relationship as a fairy tale with star-crossed lovers, where these bad guys are like an ogre in the forest. But we all know how we want our fairy tales to end. De Pablo confirms that providing a satisfying conclusion is indeed the ultimate goal of this new series. We said if we ever have the great big opportunity to go back with these characters, we'd love to give them a beautiful ending, she reveals. However, Weatherly couldn't resist adding a playful jab. Yes, that's true, but you definitely said that if that happens, you'd play a scene like Rapunzel. De Pablo's immediate denial, I most definitely did not, suggests these two actors still maintain the same playful dynamic that made their characters so compelling in the first place. But here's the controversial question that's worth discussing. After making fans wait over a decade for closure, do these actors and creators actually owe viewers a happy ending? Or is it perfectly acceptable to continue putting obstacles in this couple's path for the sake of dramatic tension? Some would argue that Tony and Ziva have earned their happiness after enduring separation, presumed death, and years of complicated co-parenting. Others might contend that easy resolutions make for boring television, and the struggle is what keeps audiences invested. What's your stance on this debate? Do you think the creators are being fair to longtime fans, or are they unnecessarily prolonging the emotional torture for the sake of ratings? Should beloved characters be guaranteed happy endings, or is conflict what makes storytelling worthwhile? Share your thoughts, because this is exactly the kind of passionate disagreement that makes fandom so fascinating.